Chen, welcome to the cave. Thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm in my own little man cave here. It's about the quietest place I can be here in noisy Los Angeles.
That's right. Exciting times, our friend, listeners, and viewers that tune into this interview. They can see you in the latest season of Warrior.
Hmm.
Man, what an amazing show! I like that. It's like I love how it's got a secret fan base in a way, also.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So what's your
Yeah.
thoughts on all this? And everybody couldn't wait for season three to finally arrive.
You know what, Elias, I'm like, I always say we have the best fans in the world because it was actually when we lost our channel and we were facing cancellation. They actually petitioned and they put like a billboard up
I
and
saw that. Yeah.
yeah, huge petitions. And for some reason, this show just really struck um a like a raw nerve in a lot of people in a good way and sometimes in an affecting way, right? And so for me, to be a part of that, to be a part of something that really people really enjoy, that's a dream come true as an actor. And hopefully it's, on a good show,
Right.
and I'm honest, I'm honest. If I was on a bad show, I would just be like, I like my show, but it's a good show. It's a fun show. So
Right.
I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that we're back. And it really is. I always say, we do it for the fans.
That's right. And it's got to be an amazing feeling. Also, like you said, you're excited about the show, and then when the fans get excited, it probably pumps you up to get to work on a show like this.
Totally, yeah. As if I needed extra motivation. I don't feel like I need any extra motivation, but it's like supercharging my car in a way, right?
That's right. So we're gonna jump a little bit more into the show in a few minutes. Get to
Hmm.
know a little bit more about you, about your journey into the acting world. I saw you were
Yep.
born in Japan and moved to China, right?
Yes, I was born in Japan, moved to China shortly after, which is, where I'm from and my culture. And I spent a lot of my childhood there. And then we immigrated to the deep South,
Mm.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Wow. And then how did the acting bug hit you? And I saw that you mentioned off the air that you ended up in Emerson in Boston, in my area.
Yes, I did. Honestly, I'm kind of a late bloomer. I never thought I would be an actor. We never really were exposed to, we didn't even have a theater program at our high school. I grew up playing sports, like, played American football. Didn't know what I wanted to do, and actually thought I was gonna go join the military. I thought I was gonna be a Marine. Yeah, and long story short of it was my mother, it was 2006. My mom was like, look, you got like a scholarship to school. It's 2006. We support you if you really want to go, but it's 2006 and we just went to Iraq, right? And so I said, okay, let me just take a year. I went to school, studied like business, and we had to take a fine arts class, and I chose acting. Thought it'd be fun, and it really was. And they were like, pretty good at this, you seem to really like it. Why don't you come in and audition for one of our shows? And I did. I got in, started singing and dancing on stage. Just thought it was like, man, I felt like I got struck by a bolt of lightning.
Wow.
And yeah, and I actually transferred schools and tried to get into an acting program. And it just so happened that week they were Emerson College was doing their acting audition rounds. Put together a little monologue, did a little audition, and that's what got me to Boston.
Wow.
And so I spent the next few years in Boston and then the next couple of years up there in the Northeast in New York. And I loved it. Loved it.
Uh, how did that conversation go between you and your family about how you were going to go into the acting world?
I got very lucky. My parents are very, very supportive. They were just like, the biggest question was like, how are you gonna eat? How are you gonna pay rent?
Hmm.
That's still a question. Yeah. I think all beginning actors, all actors kind of have that same question. But for some reason, I mean, when you find something in your soul that lights you up, you'll make it work, man. You make it work. I was just like, I'll handle it. I'll figure it out. And luckily, they were like, look, I'll actually never forget my when I graduated from Emerson. My mom and dad wrote me a card that was just so. I still have it. It hit me so much. And they said, "You're about to embark on a path that's really, really, really tough. But we know that you are tougher,
Mm.
and you have a dream. You got to go pursue it. I'm not gonna mean that it's easy, but you got to do it. You know." So I got very lucky with that.
Crazy. And of course now you're on an amazing show. And when I was going through your like IMDb, also you've worked on some great shows. What's been like one of your favorites
Yeah.
other than Warrior? Because I know you're gonna say Warrior.
Yeah.
What's been
Yeah.
like another project you've worked on where you were excited about?
You know what? It was just a little like recurring guest star on a show here in LA called Bosch.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
about like yeah. I don't, if nobody knows about it, it's just it's like an LAPD cop, right? And going into the underground of Los Angeles. And I got a couple episodes in there. I remember it was the most fun I ever had because I had to play this like gambling king, like a poker king, like a high
yeah.
roller, a whale that was affiliated with the triads, of course. And I remember, I don't actually know, I don't really know how to play poker or any gambling things. I actually like went and studied, went to for the audition. I actually went to the casino, sat down, like literally took like a week and learned everything. And just watch people how they move, how they behave. And I just remember doing that, and I felt so like, oh man, it's like, man, learning so much about just life.
Uh,
So it was really, really happy with
what's the ultimate goal for you now in the industry? Is there like a certain role that you kind of hope you get your hands on, or a certain like show or film?
that. For me, actually, I think one of my big regrets was actually, to go back. I never did join the military, but I come from a military family, and I think one of the big goals that I would have in my career is just to play a soldier.
Hmm. What's your favorite movie for military? Do you have a favorite one?
Saving Private Ryan is up there. Saving Private Ryan is definitely up there.
It's
It's got
amazing.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you binging these days? What do you enjoy watching these days?
Oh man, I'm a huge Trekkie. I'm the biggest sci-fi nut, and I've just started. I'm a little late to the game, but I've basically watched every single episode of Star Trek.
Wow.
But I'm just starting Strange New Worlds.
Wow. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, it's good. It's fun. It reminds me of the original. It's got that joy of discovery that and the guy playing Captain Pike, the lead, is just so charismatic.
So yeah, let's jump now into the third season of Warrior.
Hmm.
We see you as Hung. What are you hoping for, like with the fans? Like I mentioned, that you have a huge fan base in the show. What are you hoping for they get out of this season when they tune in to watch it?
I really hope they find like new discoveries about these characters. And I feel, Hoon Lee on the show, he was actually saying to me, if we're not growing as characters, we're dying. Literally in the show, it's like, if we didn't, if you weren't growing as a character, you would have died on the show. So every single person has some really new layers that they're being um, that's being revealed, and it's usually being revealed through other people,
Yeah.
through our relationships, because relationship on this season, love, is one of the big themes for the season going in. And like my character Hong has a wonderful arc, um, with a new man, with a new relationship. And I often find that the most vulnerable parts of us happen when we care about someone else really, really deeply. We get triggered, we get trumped,
Mm,
things get brought up. So I'm excited for fans to see that.
yeah. Your character, like I noticed throughout the episodes too, he's funny. There's certain
Oh,
scenes.
thanks.
There's certain scenes where he's a I don't know, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like hilarious, but like he's got like the little smirk, right? in a way. He's got smirk
Man.
like throughout the
Yeah,
scenes and
he's on a
everything.
different wavelength. He's on a
Right,
bit of a
right,
different
right.
wavelength, right?
How would you describe now his journey throughout each season? Now heading into season 3 that we're in.
I think, for the first season I was on there, it was like now I'm just completely wide-eyed, completely new. Everything's new. Every smell, every sight, every sound, every language is new. And it was just a journey of discovery. And for
Mm,
the third season, now I've been there for a little bit, and it's now we've seen the dark underbelly of America,
mm,
because I think like there's always an optimism. I always try to play tons of lightness with Hong. He always, I think it's just a survival mechanism. It's also part of who he is, of like really being optimistic, seeing the bright side of things.
yeah.
And usually it's because, I've the character has gone through some really traumatic stuff. So a lot of things just don't seem so bad.
Right.
And so, but it's, you're not blind to it. You're not blind to all these things. And usually, and when things like the riot happens and real racism actually starts, something that he has never experienced in China, where he is the majority.
Yeah.
Now you get to see what happens when I'm dealing with trauma.
Mm. What do you love about this character?
Yes, again, it's such a there's such a joy, I think, in Hong. There's such a look, like you can go one or two ways. Let's say something traumatic's happened to you, right?
Yeah.
Like really traumatic, you've had a horrible traumatic childhood. You can go one or two ways. There's usually one or two extremes. You can either go completely into the darkness or you can embrace the light. And I really feel like Hong is someone who just naturally embraces the light. And that lends itself to like it's so funny because like, you get to like play such a opposite of everything else, everybody else, so that is probably the most fun, to just sort of think on a different wavelength than everybody else.
Mm. Do you find it easy to play this character? Like, what draws you what into this character?
um to be honest, at first I didn't find it easy. I found it hard to find,
Mm,
and this was way back when I auditioned for the character. But what drew me in was, you know, just the for lack of a better word,
mm,
the weirdness, right? Which is, I think, why a lot of people really, thankfully, enjoy Hong, is because of the weirdness and the sort of, again, marching to the beat of his own drum, and that's always
mm,
kind of been in the writing. But I feel like for me as Chen, I have a tendency to sort of like, if I'm going through a dark place or had stuff happen to me, excuse me, if I had stuff, happen to me, I'm like, oh no, I'm just super dark now. But to go consciously against that is that was tough to find, and I think I found it really in because the character had always been written as gay,
mm,
and I found just a beautiful mask in a way of um, how do I be a gay man? What would that be like to be a gay man in Qing Dynasty China,
right.
in basically the mafia? And I'm a hitman,
Yeah.
right? So what would that give me? And it gave me always something fun to find. And I found, what if it was just completely just, you fight with the light instead of the darkness?
Mm. Did you have any input in the character, how you wanted to play him when you're talking to like the director, the writers?
Oh, totally, totally. Yeah.
Awesome.
And luckily they enjoyed my audition. They enjoyed the take I went with it. And
Mm,
they were like, you know what, we'll meet you halfway, man. We'll just meet you halfway. You don't know where you're going in the story,
right.
but everything that you had brought is such an interesting energy and a beautiful energy. We started to, sort of the writers started to kind of write for this
Mm.
guy, you know.
What are you hoping for what are you hoping for like the fans remember out of your performance from this series someday when the show ends?
I really hope that they actually get to see the the layers underneath this person,
Mm.
um, particularly with his life. He's a gay man who happens to be in this life, and there's a lot of different layers that I really hope that they can catch and are interested by.
Amazing. Chen, what's next for you now? Now that we know we have this series that's out now, we're a few episodes in. What's next for you? Any other
Mhm.
projects you're allowed to tell us about?
Yeah, actually, this is why I'm in the car right now because I'm literally, I'm trying to make this test screening for this. We're doing a little bit of an audience test for a comedy feature film that I just finished. It's it's a mockumentary about like this Spinal Tap mockumentary about indie filmmakers who are really inept, who are making really bad found footage movie about finding Bigfoot. Yeah, so like
That's
we're doing a lot of improv, but it's kind of like The Office meets the kind of like The Office meets this is Spinal Tap meets uh Blair Witch Project.
wow. So
Yeah.
what's the plan? What's the plan with this? Like a streaming service or something like that? Or
Yeah, right now, we're just distributors. But this first off is probably the festival circuit.
there you
So
go.
yeah, so I'm really excited about this film. It was just one of the most fun times I've had on set. We did not stop laughing the entire shoot.
Awesome. Shen, now lastly, now how can the listeners and viewers find you on social media to keep up with you for Warrior and of course your future projects?
Oh, okay, cool. Instagram me, man. You can just look me up, Chen Tang, or at Chen Loves Y'all.
All right, Chen, this was great. Thank you for giving us today and good luck with your film.
Thank you so much, Elias. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.